Hello, everyone. Kimiko's lack of speech is one of her most recognizable traits in The Boys, and the complete explanation for this was finally given in Season 4, Episode 7. One of the most intriguing and nuanced characters in The Boys is Kimiko, a mute superwoman who has allied herself with The Boys in an effort to overthrow Vought. The Boys has spent a lot of time delving into Kimiko's past, and the fourth season has uncovered another significant piece of information that, at long last, clarifies the character's nonverbal status. The much-awaited fourth season of Amazon Prime Video's critically praised superhero series, The Boys, is now available to view on the platform. Beginning where The Boys Season 3 left off, The Boys Season 4 follows the titular superhero team as they try to prevent Victoria Newman from becoming the Vice President of the United States, while Butcher keeps trying to assassinate Homelander in the background. Kimiko, in the meantime, is struggling with her history and has revealed to the boys a significant secret about her persona. In Season 4 of The Boys, the Shining Light Liberation Army makes a reappearance and forces Kimiko to revisit her past in an attempt to thwart the boys' plans to defeat Vought. In an earlier episode, while Kimiko and Huey are meeting with a train to collect some Compound V, one of Kimiko's rivals and several other Shining Light troops attempt to kill Kimiko in retaliation for Kimiko killing some Shining Light soldiers earlier in the season. As a result, Kimiko reflects on her time in the army and admits that her first justification for remaining silent was incomplete. It turns out that Kimiko's quiet came about as a result of a Shining Light exercise performed with the young troops. She recounts how she and another young soldier were once made to fight to the death, with the supervising soldier threatening to kill the first person to cry out in pain. Kimiko understood that the one thing that could preserve her life and help her win the battle was to remain silent. But she was never able to speak again because the pain of killing another little girl who had been forced to serve as a child soldier was so tremendous that it left her feeling crippled with remorse. This explains why, years after leaving the Shining Light Liberation Army, she is still mute in the present day of The Boys. This has continued for years. The Boys tells Kimiko's terrible origin narrative, which begins in her early years. Before the Shining Light Liberation Army attacked, Kimiko and her brother lived in a beach village as children, and everything seemed to be going well for them. Kimiko's parents were slaughtered by the soldiers, who also forced Kimiko and her brother Kenji into slavery and enlisted them as child soldiers. Kimiko and Kenji survived their captivity by learning a kind of sign language that allowed them to communicate until Kimiko managed to get away. Kimiko managed to escape the Shining Light, but her freedom was short-lived as the terrorist organization Chinese Triad managed to recapture her. A train sneaked some Compound V to the gang when they were being held captive by the Triad, and they used it on Kimiko for experiments. Kimiko was smuggled back into the country after gaining superpowers as part of Homelander's scheme to instill fear of super-terrorists in the general populace. She did, however, manage to escape, and she lived until Season 1, when the boys discovered her and took her in. Her goal since then has been to exact revenge on Vought and the Shining Light Liberation Army by working with the gang. The real reason behind Kimiko's silence is revealed in The Boys Season 4, Episode 7. However, this isn't the first explanation the show has given. When the main cast of The Boys meets Kimiko's brother Kenji, who is still able to talk, they are able to discover a little bit more about her past. At one point, Kenji reveals that Kimiko's inability to speak is a result of the trauma she had after witnessing her mother killed by the Shining Light Liberation Army. The terrible scene was so upsetting that it left Kimiko with lifelong psychological effects. But since Kimiko herself provided the updated explanation for The Boys Season 4, it is obvious that the first one could not have been accurate. It's possible that Kimiko's brother was just speculating about her trauma following her mother's death, and that's why he was wrong. It's also possible that Kimiko lost her capacity to speak as a result of both of these incidents, with the altercation with the other child soldiers serving as the catalyst. There's always a chance that new details regarding Kimiko's past will come to light in the future and clarify this. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please.